Right, good evening and welcome to the Poliscope on Dominion Television, Ibadan, your trusted platform for deep conversations on politics, governance, and leadership. So tonight we take a critical look at one of the most important questions shaping political conversation ahead of 2027. And political alignments begin to take shape. The debate around true representation becomes even more important. Samson Balogun is my name, and thank you for joining us on the Poliscope this evening. And at the heart of any functioning democracy is representation. The House of Representatives is not just a legislative chamber. It is the closest bridge between government and the people. Its members are expected to carry the voices, needs, struggles, and aspirations of their constituencies into national decision-making. So, true representatives are not only lawmakers. They are also watchdogs of public interest, advocates of development, and connectors between grassroots realities and federal policies. When this role is weakened, democracy itself becomes distant from the people it is meant to serve. And this is why conversations around who emerge as representatives and how they emerge are critical to the figure and future of governance in Nigeria. Tonight, we bring that conversation home with a focus on the Ibadan North Federal Constituency. As political activities gradually build momentum towards 2027, we are joined by a bold and emerging voice in the APC, a 2027 House of Representatives aspirant who has been engaging stakeholders and building conversations around Honorable Emmanuel Oshunlano, 2027 APC House of Reps aspirant in Ibadan North Federal Constituency. He will be speaking on his political journey so far, his understanding of inclusive representation, and how he intends to navigate the internal dynamics of APC as ambition and competition intensify ahead of 2027. And more importantly, he will share his perspectives on what it truly means to represent people in a democracy and whether political structures today still reflect the will and welfare of the grassroots. Thank you for joining us on today's edition of the Poliscope on Dominion Television. Samson Balogun is my name, and I have the honor of hosting Honorable Emmanuel. There's a lot to talk about when we talk about true representation, what it means, your aspiration, and so many other things. And I will also talk about internal dynamics within your political party, the APC, as there are a lot of information, rumors out there about if your political party will eventually go into direct primaries, or there will be consensus at the end of the day. How does that affect you and your political ambition at the end of the day? But before we go into that, deep into that, who is Honorable Emmanuel Oshunlano?
Thank you. Honorable Emmanuel Oshunlano Afolabi was born in Ibadan North Local Government in Ward 1, Shakpati Adioyo area of Ibadan. I concluded my elementary school.
Right.
We started learning some Java, all these tech.
Right.
We started learning some Java, all these tech, Python, all those stuff. Then and some Java, Cisco, and Python, all those stuff. Then and some Java, Cisco, and so on and so forth.
COBOL, and some other things.
You are in the telco. Right. So after that, I garnered some experience impacting lives. So the more you train people, the more you get to understand certain things, and the more you are in the education. And I had my degree, postgraduate diploma degree in management consultancy from Institute of Professional Managers Association in UK, IPMA UK. Okay. So we finished that. I concluded that in year 2018. So we came for the graduation at the International Conference Center. So we came for the graduation at the International Conference Center, University of Ibadan. So we did some examination at the Ibadan Business School in Old Bodija. So there has been series of training and certification. So just to mention but few.
Okay, it is safe to say that this evening I am hosting a tech guru.
Something like that.
Okay, let's talk politics. Okay, and let's talk about representation. What does true representation mean, especially if you are going to
office? See, the People of Ibadan North, they know their own. They know whom they want to represent them. So that is why the APC as a party happens to be the only stable party. We know how to do things. That is why the party hierarchy is talking about primary, so that the wish and interest of the people, the general masses, will prevail. So you cannot just sit somewhere and say, this is what you want. People have to let their interest, their opinion matter and speak. So that is why the party has decided to let everyone go to primary. By so doing, there will be a very reasonable result. Because, mind you, there is one thing to win a party ticket. Another thing is to win an election.
I wanted to ask you that question, that do you think primary elections are a crisis, especially after the primary election? Some people might feel aggrieved and would want to maybe collaborate with other camp and maybe other political parties, and thereby giving problems to the existing structure in your political party.
Well, wherever there is challenges, abound many more opportunities. The party APC is rooted to the grassroots and to the apex, the national. We have leader, we have president. Definitely, if there is primary, there is no how you will elect or select your flag bearer, that there wouldn't be any dispute or, but there is structure. When I mean structure, when there is leadership, there are people that will modify the aggrieved member, that will tell them, this is the reason. Because unlike some other parties, the APC has the solid structure as at the moment. So if someone is not favored at the moment, that does not call for end of his political career. That does not call for doing something else against the wish of the whole structure, this APC as a party. We all need ourselves. The system on ground, we have to work together to make things work, because in unity we achieve the desired result. The party needs this state. The party needs this local government, because our people have been poorly represented recently, and people need someone that will represent them well, so that the dividend of the democracy, our president cannot be everywhere. That is why there are ministers
across the
that, yes. So that is designation of assignments. When you put people that are rooted, that are sound and relevant in places of giving directive, in places of authority, they will do well. You know, I made mention of something recently. I said, I have team of people, team of professionals that knows some area even better than myself. I am a tech and business professional. I have people that are professional in different fields. We work together. I have think tank. So there are things I will see from different perspectives, and there are things
see it differently.
Yeah. So we fuse together to arrive at a very reasonable conclusion towards solving problems.
Honorable Osholano, let me ask you this question, because it just popped up, and someone was asking, why should people of your constituency, your party members, and the leaders alike, why should they trust you with the ticket?
There are reasons, and I made reference to like 3 or 4. The reason they should trust me: 1, I am their child. I was born and brought up among them, and they have seen my antecedents. They are the one that call me. There are things, there are potentials that they are seeing in me. I did not call myself. I did not come out personally. They are the one pushing me that you can do it, and they believe in my capacity. So there have been track record of good deeds, and we are still doing it. So they are the one that sees things in us. So would they now say they are not seeing what they have been seeing in us? So they are the one that see many things in us that we can do these things. Because as an entrepreneur, I have structures and I have businesses that are stable. Anywhere globally, stability is important. In governance, in business, in anything. So they have seen the stability. I identify with them always and almost every time. Even during moments I am not in the country, I do identify with them. I reach out to people from my sweat, from the little resources we have garnered. So they believe if somebody that has been doing this over a decade can now represent them, this could lead to allowing numbers in thousands of people from the constituency benefit and reap from the dividend of democracy, which they have been clamoring for.
Okay, I was about to ask you a question before you actually snowballed into that. I was about to ask you if your ambition to become a representative of your federal constituency, is it rooted in personal fulfillment, political relevance, or service?
Well, leadership is all about service, which we have been doing. All my life, like 18 to 20 years ago, I have served within the country and outside the country as an international volunteer in some of the reputable organizations. I functioned in year 2013 at World Youth Day in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I, myself and two other guys from the eastern side of Nigeria, happens to be the only volunteer in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, at the World Youth Day. The program, I have been to other places, Europe, Africa, Asia, to number but few, and within the country, as an international volunteer. So it's what I'm passionate about. It's about service to humanity. It's not about myself. It's not about my family. People are there. Listeners are here. They know me. They know what we are made of. And our team are also very good individuals, which has been supportive, because you cannot be all alone and deliver as efficiently as we have been. So we have been reaching out to traders, school children that their parents are unable to fund them well, youths across board, not only in Ibadan North. The track record is there, not only in Ibadan North, from Ward 1 to 12. We have cut across some other local governments in the state and outside Nigeria. So service to humanity happens to be something that should be prioritized. When we prioritize service to humanity, that is called leadership. It's not about doing a bossy thing. My staffs are there. I have numbers of staff that work for me. So if we have not been doing that efficiently, they wouldn't see that in us. So they have been seeing this. And I don't believe it is now that they push out that you should go and do it. You can represent us well. That they will now stop seeing it in us.
Now, let's talk about how to make representative more transparent. Some people have asked questions about their representatives, and you see a particular rep somewhere on empowerment programs, and you are like, oh, are you truly getting this fund from the federal government? And then there's another rep somewhere whose presence is not really felt. And you're asking questions. Are you not getting the same funds from, even if there are differences, it might not be too much, but then there is a contrast in what you see in one constituency to what you see in the other. How do you intend to make representation more convenient for you and for the people and more transparent?
That's a very good question. You know, I made mention of something when I started analyzing some facts. See, my people, we have already devised some structure. It's not only being transparent. There are things we already put in place that will make the dividend of democracy and our own representation different from the previous ones, because it will be an inclusive governance. There are people that are connected, even that people know that when they are unable to reach their honorable, they will be able to
reach someone that
reach
will
out to
eventually
such
reach you at the
people.
end of the
So
day.
those are the ones that we meet. They are my think tank, because I cannot be everywhere. I stay with my people. I identify with them. Perchance there will be some moments that our absence, maybe by virtue of national assignments, by virtue of some other things, it could be an act of God that is beyond our expectation. So there are structures that will take care of that.
Just before we leave that, let me ask you this. There are also some situations where complaints and you get to see that some representatives, their empowerment programs is limited to party alone. Party is about their party structure. And when you see people who actually benefit from their empowerment, they are really probably members of the APC, members of the PDP, Labour Party in some cases, ABGA in some places, and you are wondering, are they representing their political parties or they are representing the people? They are two different things, right?
Thank you for the question. You know one thing, great minds think alike. There's something I will say to answer your question and be factual with you. Our representation will be entirely different.
Okay.
Different in the sense that if we are trusted, myself and my team, if we are trusted with the representation in Ibadan North Federal Constituency, forget any other political party, forget anybody. It will be a one-man vote, because there will be no opposition. It will be like ratio 90-10, because you know when someone is representing the interest of the masses, the vote has already been decided before going to the polling unit, because no one dare vote against himself. When you know this person is going to handle the situation on ground with a balanced approach, no one dare compromise to go against such candidacy.
Okay.
So that is the truth. Even the opposition are scared. They are afraid, because once they saw the movement, they saw the pace with which we were moving.
Momentum.
Yeah, they knew what we are capable of. They have seen the track record. They know my personality, and they know our antecedents. So they were afraid, but I'm just afraid because you know our environment, the political structure and atmosphere is polarized. So we are running capitalist system of governance. So, but the APC still remain the only stable political party as at the moment.
Just before we continue, let me tell you that we would open phone lines on the show this evening, and intermittently before the show ends, we'll pick some calls and then sample opinion of the people out there, and we can take questions from you too. The studio lines to dial is +234 9165 122000. +234 9165 122000. That's the place to meet us on this show this evening. You can also drop your comments on our X handle, and we'll take them on this show too. Thank you for being a part of the show so far. We still have a lot of interesting questions to put out there this evening. Okay, I think we have a phone call already. Okay, hello. Hello. All right, I think we lost that call. We'll pick calls along the line. There are other interesting topics we need to talk about and interesting questions to ask you, especially when it comes to capacity, competence. You have really touched those areas. But let's talk about the marginalization of women in active politics. Okay, some women would ask you questions about what would be their role eventually if you get the ticket. Are there going to be any form of inclusion? We have seen some empowerment that is limited to grinding machines and some other things like that. Women sort of have been limited to a particular area of governance. Okay, hello. 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 Okay, I think we lost that call too. Please, we'll still need to take phone calls on the show this evening. Once the network is stable, we'll take them. Okay, so what will be the role of women in governance, especially when you get the ticket of your political party, and if you eventually win the election?
Thank you. Gender inclusion is not something that should be optional.
Debated. Right.
It shouldn't be optional. It's essential for adequate governance, because they cannot sideline the women. Their population is even more than men. So our government will not be biased, because we have identified so many challenges facing women, young men and women, the elders and our children. Those problems will be treated with priority, because we have provided solutions. There are some solutions that needs fund to resolve and tackle the challenges. So once we are in the government and we are part of the system, we will push for the funding and the implementation. There are some people that have idea. There's one thing to have an idea, and there's another thing to implement it. So that implementation, after the identification of such challenges, is what we have come to implement, so that if it is just one or two solutions we are able to provide, it's okay. People will never forget that. So that is what we stand for. We are here to identify and solve these challenges that we have been hearing for a very long time, right from our elementary. And all these things have not been tackled. And the approach with the way they are trying to tackle it is not the proper approach. So we have identified and we will provide solutions.
Okay, you can hold your thought a little bit. I think we have another call. Hello. Hello.
Hello, am I on to Dominion?
Yes, thank you. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you clearly. Oh, we lost that call too. We'll continue to try until the network is stable, and then we'll take some calls. I would really love our viewers out there to push some questions to you, and you can take them directly from, let them hear from the horse's mouth on the seats this evening. Now, the youths take about 60% of the population in Nigeria, and that might likely percolate down to the federal constituencies and state constituencies too. So, do you identify with the youth in your federal constituency, and how do you intend to carry them along if peradventure you get the opportunity to represent them?
Well, as you can see, I am one of the youths.
Absolutely.
It will be an understatement if I am not identified with the youth, because the youth, I am one of them, and I understand their challenges. We are in it together. That is why I am being pushed to just take this course and champion it, because the so-called youth, we can all see that we are the leaders of tomorrow. That has been the song they have been singing to our ears
Back in the days.
Back in the days. So now tomorrow has come. How long do we have to fold our arms? How long do we need to be looking at the government and the governance afar off? How we run government of inclusion, and I want to be remembered. That has been the reason for championing this cause, because according to our Yoruba adage, it says, If a masquerade goes to the market and dance well, it will be remembered. And the one that did not dance well, they will still talk about. So I want to be remembered for good, because if we are able to tackle all these challenges one by one, if it is one, if it is two that we can solve, as I have identified with the youth, I believe together we are improving this society. Together we are making Ibadan North Federal Constituency great. And together we are improving Nigeria as a whole. So I identify with the youth. I can even pinpoint one or two areas. There has been a series of empowerment in the past that we concentrated on youth empowerment and market women. We gave people money. We cushioned their businesses.
The economy of their businesses.
Exactly. Even when we were not in the country, we still extend our support. We reach out to so many youth and the market women and the students. So that has been an exemplary leadership. We must live and lead by example. It's not about being bossy. So we believe if the representation and ticket is they entrust us with representation of the people of Ibadan North, I believe we are going to deliver, and there will be nothing like opposition. I am confident about that.
Okay, since we have a little bit of network issues, let me take some comments, and then I think they are beginning to drop in. But this is very, very important, and someone asked you this question, and I would love you to munch on it quite quickly. He said, if peradventure you fail to get your party's ticket, would you still be a loyal member of the political party, APC? That is one. Two. The other question this person is asking is, are you one of those who would rather go to direct primaries than face consensus?
Well, as regards the first question, if at the long run we did not emerge as the flag bearer of our party, I will align with whomever the party deemed fit, that is, to the leaders of the APC seems more competent than myself. I'll work with the person, because we need unity and unity of purpose. Together we can defeat and win. This thing is not about do or die thing. It's about representation. It's about representing people. So if we are not the one to represent and we were not interested, I will definitely work with my party. Definitely.
Okay, I think we have another call. Let's give it a try.
Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. My name is Comrade Bamidele from the world.
Okay, thank you for calling the show.
So I would like to ask our guest,
Okay.
what does he have for the youth? Because I've been listening to the program and watching him talking, and thank God he has a lot of stuff he wants to do for us. But what particularly does he have? Why is he coming out differently? What is he bringing on board differently? That's what I just want to ask. And also, we all know what is happening now, that if you are to be a politician, you must be financially buoyant.
Okay.
Is he financially buoyant? Because we need to know too. Because these are areas, then who is bankrolling him? And also, does he have a godfather?
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for calling the show. He's trying to know if, one, you have a godfather who is backing you, or if you have someone that is bankrolling you, or you are bankrolling yourself. In a nutshell, that's his question. And he said he's been monitoring the show. What exactly are you bringing on board that is different, and what do you intend to do for the youth? Maybe he did not follow when you actually mentioned it, but quickly, maybe in 30 seconds, you can also give him a response on that.
Well, as member and part of the youth, what we have for the youth is pure governance, inclusion governance. What I mean by inclusion governance is we have track record of lay down programs that we want to leverage upon to improve the lives of the youth in Ibadan North Federal Council. And we have people that are being sent abroad. We have people that are presently in Nigeria that we are funding. And straight to the second question that the caller at home.
Are you ready for money back politics?
No, I am an entrepreneur. I'm an employer of labor. So we are is financially inclined. So I'm afraid, although we are ready for the primary, but we are not going to be breaking banks to impose our representation on people. If people see that we are capable of doing and delivering the service by liberating the majority of the masses, as they have entrusted us, they will still push. People knows whom they want. So that is why we are here, and that is our strength. That's the area of our strength.
So would you would love to do a consensus that favors you?
There is no how consensus could favor somebody like me.
Okay.
Because somebody like us, everyone sees that we are there for service. And those that will nominate for consensus, they wouldn't nominate us. I maintain balance with all the power blocks. We don't have factions. We are core APC. People are seeing us. You cannot be more important than your people.
Right.
So let the hierarchy of the party do the job. Once they see that, well, we are capable, as our people have seen, if the party structure, the leadership of the party sees that they can trust us with the ticket and representation, I believe. And if otherwise, there is always a better time. You cannot impose your wish on people. We have come to serve, and we have been serving our people in the little capacity.
Okay.
So
there's this particular comment that dropped in a few seconds ago, and was talking about something you earlier mentioned about the North being an area where there are elites, and of course there are a lot of markets, which means that you have a balance of all classes in your local government, depending on how people see it. So what relationship do you have with these different classes of people? Okay, let's pick one more, another phone call. Hello. Hello? Hello? If you are there, we can't hear you here. Okay, I think the internet, or maybe the network, is a little bit shaky over there. We'll still continue to try. At least we must get to one more phone call that comes straight into the studio before we leave the show today. Okay, you want to munch on that particular question very quickly about how do you intend to maintain the balance amongst the different classes of people in your... Hello, good evening.
Yes, this is Billy from Johnson.
Okay. Yes, I can hear you. Oh, okay. All right, let's go back to what we're talking about. How do you intend to maintain a balance amongst the people of your constituents, especially with the different classes of people that are there? At least according to what we call the socio-economic class and scaling, there are about 3 or 4 classes of people. You can say for a layman, you have the lower class, medium class, and the high class, who practically live in highbrow areas. And to some people, there are people who have practically fallen off the standard of living in the country, which means that they do not belong in the lower class, but somewhere a little bit off that. So how do you intend to balance it, and then your representation brings all of these people together, and then you are able to balance the situation?
That is very, very simple. We have been dealing with different classes of people in our day-to-day activities. So balancing will not be a problem. As I have told you, I'm an employer of labor. I give directives So we have people at the back end, we have structure. So for structure to be in place and be working efficiently, you should understand, and people knows, to maintain a structure and run business and impact life. So balancing wouldn't be a problem. We are not dictatorship. We don't dictate. So it will be an inclusion, government of inclusion, inclusive system. So it's easier. We balance things. So because we deal with different classes of people, individual, hierarchy of people, both the learned and the less educated, youth, we deal with classes of individuals. So balancing wouldn't be a problem.
So just before we go, we might likely pick another phone call, but then what would you say to the people of Ibadan North as we speak, especially in the constituencies?
What I have for the people of Ibadan North Federal Constituency is we should be calm.
Kindly hold your thought a little bit. I think we have another phone call. The network connects. Hello?
Question, which is, hello, can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes. Now, which is, looking at the current party structure, are you sure that it is going to accommodate your ambition?
Okay.
And is it going to favor you?
All right. I think you can. You said according to the current party structure, do you think it is going to accommodate you, and will the current dynamics favor you as a politician in your political party?
Well, if I'll be factual with you, the current dynamics might not favor us. Because sometimes the most qualified candidate
are skimmed out deliberately.
Exactly. But that is why our country and our constituency and our local government and our state is being run this way. So perchance, maybe if we were skimmed down, it doesn't really affect us. It does affect the constituency, the people.
It's the loss of the constituency,
exactly.
so to say.
So that is why we are everywhere. We have had meetings. We have met series of hierarchy. We are not being biased to make people know. Those that have not heard what we've been doing, and those that have heard, because we still need to approach them. According to Yoruba proverb says, "Oti wi, la wi, kò sẹ́ni tó máa sọ pé oti lo wi." If we had not made our intention known, nobody will know that there is one Afolabi Emmanuel Oshunlana from Ibadan North Federal Constituency. But nevertheless, there are two ways to every result. It's either yes or no. But we will still be part of the system. But we cannot decide for the party. Let the party structure and hierarchy choose. But whatever be the outcome, we are still with the party structure because we need to be part of the system in order to
effect a change.
Exactly. Because change is not effected in
from
one
the outside.
minute. Yeah. Right. You have to be part of the structure and the system. So that is how we can contribute our own quota by virtue of exposure, experience, and human, as in humanity aspect of everyone. So when we are part of the system and we are able to effect our own
the change
we want to, yeah, that is when we will see the like of Ibadan North and Oyo State and Nigeria of our choice.
Honorable Emmanuel Afolabi Oshunlana, we say thank you for joining us on the show.
Thank you, my brother.
It has been an eye-opening session with you. In fact, we would love to bring you back some other time to discuss extensively on true representation. Thank you for joining us on the show.
You're welcome.
All right, as we wrap up tonight's edition of the Poliscope, the central question remains. In a political system driven by structure, influence, and ambition, who truly represents the people? Is representation still rooted in service, accountability, and accessibility? Or has it become purely a function of political negotiation? We appreciate my guest this evening, Honorable Afolabi Emmanuel Oshunlano, for sharing his time and insights with us on the show. Samson Balogun is my name, and until next week, keep watching the Poliscope on Dominion Television Ibadan, where politics meets the people. Goodbye.